Hello YouTube and welcome to my channel eddieinreadingland. My name is Eddie and today I'm bringing you my favorite depictions of the Three of Swords. Okay guys, like I said in my video, I am bringing you my favorite depictions of the Three of Swords, and like always, I'm going to have two honorable mentions and then my three favorite depictions of the Three of Swords. Now, this is my favorite depictions of the Three of Swords, and you're gonna see only numerological and more intellectual sort of depictions for the cards, guys, because I do not like the deccan depiction of the Three of Swords. The heart pierced with the three swords and the raining and the heartbreak going on. It's for me, it's way too sentimental for the swords, and I actually like something a lot more serious, a lot less sentimental, or actually without sentiment at all. And so you're going to see a lot of cards that maybe are not providing us with that feeling of heartbreak or that feeling of extreme sorrow or that break of contract that you can see in the in the Deccan Three of Swords. Now, I will actually just go on and show you one of the honorable start showing you one of the honorable mentions, and then I will move on to my favorite depiction. So let's start with the Three of Swords, and here we have the Three of Swords from Tarot of the Starbound Fantasia by Taylor Ellis. And as you guys can see, there is no heartbreak here, and there is some sort of aggression especially with this ant over here in the handle of this sword. But as you guys can see, there is an expansion here that's happening. We are rising, we're coming from the bottom to the top. The swords are looking up, which is also the preferred way that I like to see the Three of Swords. Instead of the swords being down, I like the threes at least being up. This is because well, it is a better feel to the Three of Swords. It feels as if the mind that's exactly how the mind develops, right? We start with something small and then we rise by getting information, by gathering information, by observing that information and expanding our mind. That is exactly what starts to happen in the Three of Swords, and this is the reason why I'm showing you these depictions of these cards. But this one is an honorable mention because this card seems more serious than it is intellectual, but there is some symbology that I like. For example, in the main sword over here, the one with the really aggressive army ant, we do have rainy clouds, and we also have regular happy clouds. I like this because this is exactly how it's a really good representation of the mind. There is this back and forth of the mind where we have the ability to maintain focus, but also step out of that and go in the completely opposite way, especially when we're gathering intelligence. Now, I love the fact that we have ants in the handles of the swords because ants gathering resources, that feeling that that we get when we see ants gathering resources and bringing it into the anthill, or I'm not really sure what it's an anthill, right, guys? The house where ants live. I don't know. But as in any case, the ants gathering resources and bringing it into a specific place, it sort of mimics as well the idea of gathering information and absorbing information, especially when we do research or we're investigating something. Love that. Love that. Now, I also love the fact that we have yellows over here because, again, guys, and you've heard this from me, I don't know how many times, I do equate the color yellow with air and the mind. And I very much like that. I also like the fact that we have these crossed swords in the middle as well, because gathering information is not a straightforward process as we like to think. There's also mistakes that we're able to do, and there's also obstacles that we can come across while we're investigating, while we're doing research, while we're gathering information, while we're absorbing it. Mostly in the form of doubting ourselves, or not gathering the correct information and then making up our minds with the wrong information, sort of like that. That's why I like this card a lot. I also love the fact that we have the black background. It just in the stars over here accumulating in the center and just expanding out. Love that as well. But it is also it's just an honorable mention because the card it feels too serious versus intellectual. If I'm hopefully I'm making sense with that. But as in any case, the second honorable mention that I have is the Three of Swords from the Guiding Light Tarot by Victoria Iva. Now, I love this Three of Swords because you can read it. People who read it, or actually, I'm sorry, the deck and meaning of the Three of Swords can be read from this, but also the numerological one. Why am I saying this? Because this person has been split into, or it's being split into, and there's this core, there's this focus in the middle, and that core, that focus, is what we need to gather information, to absorb information. That's how focused the mind gets when we're doing research, and I really, really like it. The other thing is that, for example, having this person both in light and in shadow, as if open to absorb all of that information, whether it's right or wrong, or whether we feel is correct or whether we feel is bad, also really works out with the numerological meaning of the Three of Swords. I like that for intelligence because, like I said before, there are obstacles that we can face when we are gathering that intelligence, and I really, really like that. This is a very visceral depiction of what happens when we gather information, definitely, or when we're expanding ourselves, when we're opening our mind, when we are developing as a person, especially mentally, right? I very much like this. The other thing that I like about this depiction is that the swords look like antennae, and antennae actually gather, well, maybe not information, but it gathers images, and it gathers waves, and it's able to relay that information to us via either radio or television or telephone, and that is exactly also a really good metaphor about how the mind works, because when we're doing this research, when we're investigating, when we're gathering this intelligence, our brain processes it and comes up with a conclusion. And I love that. I really, really love that. The only reason why this is an honorable mention is because it's too dark of a representation of intelligence in a way. I like something more neutral. I like something that's brighter, because for me, gathering intelligence brings clarity, and this feels like it's bringing maybe not the opposite, but it feels hazy. It feels still sort of in doubt, right? So that's the only reason why this is an honorable mention. But my third favorite depiction from the decks that I have of the Three of Swords is the Three of Swords from the, oh goodness gracious, what is it called? Sephiroth, the Sephiroth Tarot. Yeah, by it's by a bunch of people that I'm gonna have my husband put over here so that you guys know. They recently actually came up with a new version of this deck that has gilded. It actually looked really pretty. But as in any case, I love this representation of the Three of Swords because, again, we have the three swords pointing up, which is what I like for the Three of Swords numerologically, because it just represents that rising, that development, that elevation of the mind. I love that. I love the circle in the center expanding, because it could also, well, actually I do believe that it's expanding, and I love the brightness of the circle because that represents clarity of the mind, or how the mind starts to be clear with the intelligence. Guys, this is so good. You can tell that I love a numerological Three of Swords. But yes, so we have this expansion, we have this clarity that's being brought to the mind, and we also have this focus in the middle of the card that I also like, which is one of the things that we need to gather intelligence. It's that focus. And again, we have the crossed swords in the middle that also work out for me, representing the obstacles that we face when we're gathering intelligence and when we're absorbing information. So I love this. The other thing that I love about this one is the background. This grayish background with a teal bias. I'm not really sure if the camera is actually picking it up, but it has teal, very transparent teal here in the edges of the card. And again, teal is one of the colors that I equate with that I like for mind, and or related to the mind processes actually. But so I love that, and I love the gray because it removes the sentimentality from the card and it makes it either black or white, right? And I feel like it's just so much better, guys. I know as an aromantic person, I just remove the romance from things anyway. But the fact that this is being deliberately done in the depiction of a card is just so delicious. You have no idea how happy this card makes me. But yes, so I like the red. Again, I actually like the red because to me, red symbolizes passion and action, and I do relate gathering intelligence as an action, deliberate action for ourselves, and I like that. It also red represents power, managing power well, at least, and I like that because I do believe that knowledge is power, and knowledge can bring power. So I very much like that. The fact that the cross swords are teal, it's also very yeah, I mean, this card just captivates me. It's also minimal, and I love minimal representations of cards. When you're able to bring so much meaning and good enough symbolism in the card with just so minimal and such simplicity, it's amazing. It's amazing. Terribly amazing. I love this. But it is only my third favorite. My second favorite, and this card actually just threw actually this card and another one that from my honorable mentions got rid of two of the other ones that I initially had for this video. But because I recently acquired the Conjunction Tarot by Ina Audrey, and this is the Three of Swords from Ina. Now, basically I chose this because of aesthetics. This is such a great image, regardless of the intellectual aspect and the numerological aspect of this card. I do want to say, like, and I did say it in my review of the Conjunction Tarot. Ina did not intend this to read as numerological at all. This being a thought re-imaging, it is meant to convey sorrow, and I can definitely see that in this picture. But I see absorption of information, especially with the position that this being has their hands, and where these swords are coming from. So we have this sword in the middle, piercing this golden rose that is providing this expansion as well, this clarity, this focus, and this person is staring right at this sword, as if contemplating, as if reading, as if absorbing information, as if absorbing something. That exacerbates these two swords as well, with this position of the hands as absorption too. So it feels like this person is absorbing something from the swords as well. And what are the swords? The swords are mind. The swords are intellect. The swords are air. And those are things that that is exactly what intelligence is. It's absorbing those things. So I love that. I love the fact that this person is wearing some sort of a, I want to say a scarf, or maybe it's I don't know if it's a bandana or some sort of ribbon, but the fact that it is flowing on top of their head and sort of expanding, it's like, it feels like the mind is expanding in waves and the scarf is being moved by the mind. So there are so much symbolism that I'm gathering here for a numerological meaning and depiction of the card. The fact as well that we have these curtains that are revealing the darkness, or actually quite the opposite, revealing the light, in this case, revealing this person, and this person being so vulnerable and so willing and so open. This person has an open stance. Well, I mean, they're crouching, but they have an open body language. So they're being receptive to information. They're being vulnerable to learning, to the humility of accepting the fact that there's something that they don't know and that they're going to learn. It's just so good, guys. I love this so much, so much. We also have that Orphic egg over here. I don't know if you guys are able to see that. But there's a lot of light coming out of the darkness sort of feel. And that is exactly what happens when you gather intelligence. You stop being ignorant and you learn, you develop as a person, you grow as a person. That is all that I'm seeing in this. Not to mention that I also love the color palette, because black and white and gold is absolutely delicious. I love that color palette. And Ina's intricate, very delicate design for this card is just beyond this world. But yes, so this is only my second depiction, because my favorite, and I'm pretty sure you guys know if you have watched my previous videos where I mentioned this, this is the Three of Swords from Tarot of the Abyss by Anna Turian. Isn't this perfection for intelligence? I do have to admit that I got the idea for my card, for the card that I did for the numerological meaning in my deck from Anna Turian. I love the fact that we're seeing this person with an open book and the swords piercing that book, and the letters coming out of it as birds, as fleeting thoughts, and as and also being absorbed by the openness of the mind, as you guys can see over here. It is the picture of intelligence. There is nothing better than this card that I have ever seen in any tarot that quite depicts intelligence in such a perfect way. Anyone can see that this card is depicting intelligence and not know what the card actually means in the tarot. It is so refreshing. And it is so bad that this is the only tarot that I own and actually that I know that has an alternative card for people who read numerologically. The other thing that I like about this card is how removed of sentimentality it is. That also being exacerbated by the black and white feel as well of the whole tarot, actually, because it is so good. This is exactly how intelligence works. The brain is absorbing the information through a stimulus, in this case through the eyes. This person is reading, which is being a bookworm is exactly what I want to see in the Three of Swords. Not an open book. Come on, this is just so good, guys. And the other thing is that I love how this person is holding their book as if it's the most important thing in their life, or at least the most important thing right now and then. I take good care of my books, guys. I don't have a lot of books, even though I read way too much. I can't keep all the books that I read, guys. We would be inundated with books in this house, and our house is quite small. So yeah, no, we would be swimming in books, and that is not a good thing. I love the seriousness or the focused facial expression that this person has while reading. They seem to be completely immersed into what they're reading. They are using, I'm pretty sure that if they're reading a novel, they're using their imagination, and you can see it at work over here with the birds and the words flowing out of it and being brought into this person's brain and their being, and this person is growing, it's developing, is absorbing information. They are on their way to become a master, a wise person. So this is just incredibly good. I love this card, guys. It's the cherry on top of the numerological depictions of Three of Swords that I have ever seen. I will have to admit that this is even better than mine. It's just, this is exactly what this is. I love the fact that we are seeing this young person too, absorbing information. It's something that I actually don't see a lot nowadays. You don't really see a lot of young people reading books, or they're usually just stuck in their cell phones. But and that's another form of gathering information, actually. So I can't be a hypocrite, actually. But yes, this conveys all of the meanings of the Three of Swords that I like. With intelligence, absorption of information, knowledge being power, growth of the mind, developing as a person, processing, mental processes, and thought patterns, and how thoughts work when you are focusing your intention when you're learning. This is just utter perfection, guys. Utter perfection. But there you go, guys. Those are my favorite depictions of the Three of Swords. Let me know in the comments below if you like any numerological depiction of the Three of Swords. I would very much like to know. I would like to read that in the comments. And if you guys know any other tarot that offers you a choice with the numerological and the deck and meaning of the 3 and the 10 of Swords, please let me know. I beg you. I need to check it out, because as of now, Anna Turian and myself are the only artists that I know that provide an alternative for the Three of Swords. But as in any case, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. I'll see you in the next one. Bye, YouTube. Oh, it's my mom. ¿Aló? No, no, la verdad no. Bueno, necesito ir a comprar varias cosas, pero solo las podemos comprar en Fry's. Esperaba que usted pudiera ir conmigo. ¿Usted está aquí, Maricopa? Oh. Ah, ok, 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 está bien, está bien. Bueno, me te amo. Bye. Okay. It's a good thing that she called me when I was not really in the middle of the video. Okay.